Today we're talking about what you can expect in the real estate market in 2020. Here we go. Hey everyone, it's Shelly Killinger from the Shelly Killinger Group at RE/MAX CSI. So as you know, one of our missions with this company is to educate the local community on what is happening in the local real estate market so that you can make an informed real estate decision. So today we're hoping to do two things for you. We're hoping to take a look back at 2019 and give you an idea of where we were last year, and then take a look forward to 2020 and tell you what we can expect for this year as we're entering into it. Let's take a look back as we wrapped up 2019. So in the month of December, we saw 535 properties that were active for sale, which is really not a very high number. We were hoping as 2019 progressed that those inventory levels would start to tick up, but we just haven't seen the numbers that we're looking for. So unfortunately, if you're a buyer, it is still a very competitive market out there. Please expect to be aggressive this year as we enter into 2020. If you're a seller, things are looking good for you. Days on market is low, and usually sales prices are up a little bit whenever things are scarce and inventory levels are low. So unfortunately, we just haven't seen the numbers in inventory that we've been hoping. At the end of the December month, we were sitting at 49 days on market, which really, guys, is not very long at all, especially when you take a look 2 years ago in December of 2017, we were sitting at 68 days on market. And it feels like it wasn't even very long before that we were at 90 days on market. So 49 days, and it's going to get faster as spring comes. So 49 days is not very long at all. Our average sold price in the month of December was $272,000. Now that is actually only a slight increase from last year's number, December 2018, which was sitting just at $270,000. So property prices have not increased significantly. In December 2019, we did see 269 properties that were sold in the South Hills of Pittsburgh, which is really not a far cry from the 239 properties that we saw sold in December of 2018. So overall, guys, I have to say our market conditions are very similar in 2020, entering into 2020, as they were leaving 2018 and going into 2019. Our days on market has not varied significantly. Our mortgage interest rates have not increased significantly. They've held steady. So what can we expect as we enter into 2020? Well, overall, I would say conditions are going to be very similar. It looks as if low inventory levels are going to continue. We will probably see a little bit of an uptick in the spring just because that is when we always have our heaviest levels of inventory. But overall, if you are a buyer, I would still expect to have to be aggressive. You're going to have to submit competitive offers. You're going to have to get into the house sooner rather than later. It may not make it to the open house, so you won't be able to have the luxury of waiting. If you are a seller, you can expect probably a little bit of a higher purchase price. Purchase prices will probably continue to rise a little bit this year. And also you can expect houses to not sit on the market for very long. So one thing we haven't talked about up until this point is economists were originally expecting a small recession at the end of 2019 as we enter into 2020. They have actually pushed that back, and a lot of experts now are saying it's going to be into 2021 or maybe into 2022 before we see that minor recession. And I don't want you guys to get worried. When I say minor recession, you have to know the housing market is incredibly strong right now. The economy is strong right now. When they say a recession, we are not thinking back to 2008 when we had the major economic downturn and people were, really in distress and turmoil. This is just a minor correction, a minor recession that they're predicting. And quite honestly, the housing market is so strong right now that they're not really expecting it to impact the housing market at all. Another thing to consider is that 2020 is an election year, and with as contentious as things have been politically speaking, there's a likelihood that the market will slow down a little bit, especially as we near that election time. So just something to consider. It's not that we're going to see depreciation. It's not like we're going to see prices in the red. We just might see a little bit of a slowing in the market towards that election window. So I hope you guys have found this information helpful. Of course, if you have any questions whatsoever, put them in the comments down below and we'll be glad to get you answers. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.